We'll see. Straight out of the gate, Apex in with a decent enough chance. This could overwhelm the CT side of things. They're playing pretty stacked towards B, though. 2 players and 1 at middle is quite the commit here. Fast Cat coming in as well to just really spot things out. They're reading in quite well whether it is going to be this B hit or not, and it seems like they are correct. Inters, 99 damage he takes. Hobbit takes 100, and now Inters has got to hold things down with 1 HP. Not looking too good. His help has been smoked off. So Apex will find themselves the lead. Nafany at window can't really get anything done. Meanwhile, the rest of the team preoccupied at middle. They will deal with Marcelius quickly, but not before the bomb goes down.
Bomb planted. Kit on Nafany. APEKS feeling like he needs to get out of dodge, and the kit's down. Dennis still here with the P250. We're going to need some big headshots from the big players of GAMBIT youngsters. The fake flashes and all come in, and they're not finding a single one. I think they're just going to bail out. They understand when they're bested, and this is one of those moments. They're going to try to play for crossfire into these exits. APEKS will hunt. They want to take the armor out of these players' hands, make the force buy the next round weak, and there you have it. Sharon Exile will find him. P250 gone for Dennis. That's a bit of a shame. But keep a note, by the way, Exile and Shiro did take damage onto that armor. So no cheap upgrades. So that's it. That's always nice for the APEKS boys. At least they died, but they did some damage beforehand. Force comes out from GAMBIT, Scriv. And I think we might be due for a bit of a airstrike, as the live odds coming from LoopBet, our betting partner, pretty much where we thought they would be.
Yeah, I think so. It does make sense. Not crazy, but strongly, solidly in favor of GAMBIT youngsters. I think that's what we are indeed expecting. And APEKS off to a decent enough start here on the T side of things. It can be rough for that CT side, like we saw from GAMBIT youngsters on Vertigo, in fact. Oh my goodness. That is so close. Kez. Indeed, going to be thankful he's still alive. Meanwhile, once again, in towards this B-bomb site. Hobbit playing on high. Not sure whether they're going to expect this. Patience coming in. The double peek is clean. Ooh. Comes a little close onto Gruss. He keeps moving forwards for more, though, and I think being firmly locked out and the flank coming in, surely sealing the deal. Wow, nice and crisp from APEKS. That might be worrying if he's looking that good round after round after round, but nonetheless, it will indeed go the way that we expect. The force buy not really finding too much. I mean, if he can get away with a rifle, Nafany will be happy. Okay. Hold on. This is damage. AK. Hell yeah.
Well, hey. Looks like he should be able to escape here. Gonna have to distance himself a bit. And he is going to go ahead and just get on out of here. Truth is going to start to pick up the pace. Oh, Nafany, I think his days are numbered. Yeah, didn't tuck in the corner. Interesting choice. Kept on running. And caught in the open by Truth. Nothing now for GAMBIT youngsters into this round, even if they wanted it. Could not afford it. And Marcelius continuing to be the homie, buying the Bison. Because he likes to be an innovator. Start trends off. He's one of the only players who actually buy that gun, Scriv, from what I could tell.
Big. But also, we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll see. It's going to come under the ultimate test here on the B-bomb site. This is limit testing the PP Bison to the max. And then, no, come on. I was going to say they're going to know it, but of course they're making the smart decision with the MAC-10 here finding a clear A-bomb site. Want to see some action for the PP Bison, my dude. Oh. Okay, first frag coming in. Come on. Give me... Just go on your own. You've got the man advantage. You can take the A-bomb site. Like, it's not going to do anything against armor. Just do it. Really teasing us with this Bison, honestly.
They really want them to come to B. They're setting up. Bombs planted, obviously. They just don't want to feed the SMGs. Yes, they should all run at that AK. They should all try to die to it. Instead, here comes Dennis. They're going to try to feed the Menace. He only able to get one. There you go. Die to Truth. That works out okay. Couple SMG kills for Dennis. The rest go the other way. So Marcellus doesn't get any kickback for that Bison purchase. And now the big guns have come out to play from Gambit Scriv. Up on Shiro. M4 full util for the rest. And the first real test for the Apex side is going to begin here shortly. And Marcellus is happy with that B spawn because that's probably where he's going to head with that Bison for now. As it looks like Apex are going to try to run down short. Maybe look to try to get to cap real quick.
.125 left on the clock, as it has been a slow start. Apex really sending the feelers out. Chilling in the default. Short execute appears to be the name of the game. All three of those smokes coming in. The dribble smokes, of course. CT going to be covered off, or at least they think they might look to drop a player down. It will be Gruss. And he's able to get in pretty cleanly. Inters, I do like this play from him, though. As soon as action kind of comes in, he might push forwards and be the difference maker. Or maybe it's Nafany. Gruss is smart to the fact that Inters was behind him. Unfortunately, gap in the smoke works for the lone CT. They do get their B bomb site. It costs them that all-important man advantage. Marcellus chucks his PP Bison to the ground. Back to the streets. And Marcellus, he will indeed take that M4. However, the clutch in full flow for Apex. And it's certainly going to be a tough one.
Oh, man. Just that one nade is all they have left to defend this site. Flash should be coming in momentarily. There it is from Axiles. Lands on Truth. CTs are in. Can he double in? Maybe the third from Truth? No. Denied last second. Kit at Shiro's feet. Defuse comes in. And that would have been a beautiful 3K with that Galil, but he gets halted. Shiro, if that headshot landed on him, he was gonzo, but I think the wall ate a bit of those bullets. And Apex right back in. The money is there. Again, clean pistol, clean second. Dennis making money. It all comes into effect right now. One big change from Gambit youngsters. Shiro didn't get the op-out script. He only grabbed the AK.
Early damage here onto Apex, but not finding the success that they were looking for with the aggression. Once again, maybe looking towards short. Not entirely sure. Maybe we'll fake things out here. It's hard to tell. They really do approach things slowly on the T side. Initial aggression, unsuccessful. And then it just slows way down. They have a lot of respect for Gambit youngsters, and rightly so. Oh, my goodness. That nade. Eating them alive. Look how low HP these players are, and they've not even seen any action yet. This is crazy. The smoke's going to come in. Once again, attempting to go for it, where they look to drop down to CT. They may well. Shiro, though, turning away and looking to be the anti-CT man, but no one really going down that way just yet. Moving forwards. Oh, he spots a gap in the smoke. That's pretty big. Able to find Gruss. Inters as well at Goose is a great spot. The smokes dissipate, however, and they will both fall. 4 versus 3. Definitely not impossible here for the Apex side to take it over the line. Oh, but of course, more nades.
Ooh, what a headshot from Dennis. Can he find a second? He can. Look at Dennis go. Nafany really trying his best, but Marcellus connects, and that is a post-plant hold from Dennis if you've ever seen one. Really nice headshots coming in. Gambit Youngsters unable to find that double peek into him, and he's isolating the fights like a true tier 1 player. The way he's able to dance around that catwalk and elbow, find the fight, Scriv, allow his teammates to support him. I mean, gorgeous stuff. I could see why they were able to beat Fate now. And if I had to take a guess, Scriv, Marcellus and Dennis were probably near the top of that scoreboard if you want to fact check me. As Gambit Youngsters sent to the pistols, APEKS take control. And the typical go-to is long. The range of these weapons, a big factor, of course.
So, to highlight, to fact check, it was, in fact, Truth and Marcellus at that top end. Truth actually plus 12, which is pretty nuts. So, but they all, I mean, they all look pretty good, to be honest. It was only Gruss a little further down the scoreboard than he would like, perhaps. So I would say they're all fairly happy with the performances against Fate, and it looks to be continuing here. Kind of going as expected here. Hobbit going to get away with an AK by the looks of things, but ultimately not too much happening. APEKS moving up to 5. And a stonker of a start. We've absolutely unexpected this, to be honest with you. Like, things look great on the T side for Gambit Youngsters previously, but do need to get that foot in the door on the CT end.
It's got to be a start here somewhere. The off from Shiro. Of course. Get the AK out on a Hobbit. But APEKS at T-Bank, getting there. Gonna take a few more, but it's starting to build slowly but surely. And it looks like Gambit Youngsters want to fight for long control, but this is the exact thing I talked about last series, right? You have a round that catches the other team off guard as a T side. It doesn't change the issues you might have been facing or the success you've been finding, but it's almost a guaranteed one. It's something to catch them off guard and change the pace up. And APEKS not liking the fact that Molly was there in the smoke follow-up, so they're just going to change it up. The nice thing about attempting to rush B is for a lot of teams, your default starts in B tunnels anyway. So you're not really losing anything outside of your normal default, and the timing on Shiro there is just making me sick to my stomach. AKS is going to swing, and oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, indeed. And the immediate call to save comes in. Gambit Youngsters, wow. Getting absolutely bested here by APEKS early on. It definitely took a lot of time for them to get rolling on their CT end of Vertigo. Axile in with 2. That might just change the opinion of the CT side here. As you can see, those 2 saving players now looking to come through lower tunnels and maybe try and go for it. Time definitely working against them, and it's a very rushed attack. APEKS, though, may well get caught sleeping. Gruss, not going to happen for him, and Axile going to go down as well. So back to saving Hobbit goes. It is unfortunate. There's slight and false hope that they had of perhaps picking up this round will end up being untrue. Oh, and is Hobbit going to be able to stay alive? No, he goes down. So that really does suck as they all get eliminated. It goes from being a doable buy into a half buy at best. APEKS looking so good. You know what else looks so good, though, Keith?
You read my mind. I was going to do that. I was going to say, Scriv, you know what looks good? It's Hellcase. But we're the same person. So if you have an accent, a good beard, and nice hairline, I don't have an accent. My hairline's receding. Hellcase still has an awesome site for you to check out. Malta V 15, tons of cases. Give them an open, give them a look. Esports tournament modes and giveaways galore. They're an awesome partner to have. All 10 weeks they've allowed this Counter-Strike to happen, and we've had some awesome moments from it as Gambit Youngsters. They're going to need a bit of awesomeness this round with Shiro as 2 opening picks goes APEKS' way.
Yep, deadly stuff. As to be expected, Shiro will hope to save. He's got his goons as well to help him out. So, 7th round coming in for APEKS. absolutely tearing through the T side of Dust 2. Of course, their map pick, we did say it would be somewhat of a challenge for Gambit youngsters. It appears clearly they've been doing work. Nafany will end up getting traded, but damage is always good, keeping the economy somewhat modest. At least the personal economy of Dennis, I suppose. Every cloud with its silver lining. But, yeah, like we said, looking good against Fate. Another decent enough Dust 2 team. Only allowing them to pick up 9 rounds, and maybe going to try and repeat history here against Gambit youngsters would be not crazy. But I think if they can keep Gambit youngsters off of double digits on any map, that's a pretty big achievement.
Well, this is reminiscent, Scriv, to what we saw in Vertigo, isn't it? Like, Hellraisers come out swinging, yeah, the opening 5-6 rounds, pause from Gambit, and then they seemingly turn it on. They have the weaponry, they have the full utility, they'll have the kits and everything else. This is where the coach really gets to kick them in gear. Maybe give them a kick in the rear to get them in gear. That's a new saying. I'm all for it. Kind of like what I used to call Deagles, the Deagle Brigade. I'm going to start bringing that back too because it's so catchy. Am I right, Scriv? I'm right.
Yeah, always.
Aw, you're so sweet.
Just well trained.
No comment.
Either way, nice little flash. It's a shame the Molotov is in their way there. They definitely could have found Nafany, but keeping him at bay, baiting utility out at the very least. Or Shiro, nice and confident. Not going to be able to get away, though. He tries his best. Just about makes it around the corner. The spray is somewhat fluffed, it has to be said. Nonetheless, APEKS looking to reapproach towards B, I guess. The bomb is just outside of the B bomb site here, so would make sense. Nafany finding the first onto Dennis, though. They've opted to not smoke middle. Maybe getting a little overconfident in places here. Hobbit going to go unchecked as well. Good for one. Truth is out, and he knows it. Truth wins that fight, but it's still a man advantage for the CT side. Nafany in quickly. Flashes himself through. Can't find a frag. Now the smoke comes into the double doors. And it becomes a little harder. Low HP's dotted about for the T side. Certainly not impossible. Really, anybody's game, it feels like. APEKS have the tension, have the surprise factor on their side. Truth in a great angle. Finds the first frag quickly, but the secondary flash is enough to take him down. It's all onto Marcelius. 2 more to go. Oh, lands that tag. And somehow Shiro missed the shot as well if you caught in the top corner of his scope. In the end, though, they will come out on top. And Gambit youngsters secure their second. It's somewhat costly. They'll just about be able to scrape together a bye here. The string needs to happen. Because winning and then losing subsequently straight after when you're 7-2 down is really not good. APEKS could crush them.
Oh, there's definitely some weight bearing into this round. The fact that you won't have money to buy in the next is 1. 2, you just took a pause. And you don't want to break the habit today of pauses equal round wins. Because now that means your next pause is going to be a little more awkward with the coach, giving you a bit more elbowing than normal, right? Giving you a bit more of an earful. That's Hobbit with a secondary op, looking to beat tunnels. Can he find a pick? Yes, sir. Is he able to escape? He is. Tucks into the green box, will drop a smoke. And you know Gruss is coming for him, Scrib. Oh!
Oh! Monster. Second as well. Hobbit is an absolute beast. Of course, it seems Gambit youngsters turning things around, but APEKS finding them both. Speaking of turning things around, that is a little insane that they just drop their concentration for a second. I guess 4 versus 2, you're not expecting a flank to come in, excuse me, but all the same, devastation, and APEKS might just steal this one away. Time will tell. Shiro, Axile desperately trying to move in here. The utility going down, not really being that effective, to be honest. Trying to push in, trying their absolute damnedest. Sprays coming through, and they will be successful. A 4 versus 2 pulled back from the brink by APEKS. Oh no, GAMBIT youngsters were in with the perfect round. A great opening exchange here from Hobbit. Finds himself 3, and it isn't enough.
I would be so mad if you're Hobbit. You get 3 kills. Your mid-anchor player, who, by the way, should kind of still be concerned about mid because you're retaking B, gets distracted, comes over to help B, and you lose the round. Oh, that one's gonna sting. I really like the movement from Hobbit there, looking really fresh, and he doubles in again. All right, back-to-back multi-frag rounds for Hobbit. Enters in with a deagle of his own, and this is very Gambit fashion, isn't it? You get upset, you get the deagles out, you get a round. They still got to deal with this pesky B site, which has been a big, capital B, big problem.
Oh, Molly not quite landing. That could make a difference. Really gives them a good number of options to work with here on the GAMBIT youngster side of things. Truth, though, looks so clean. All onto Axile. Oh, my goodness. Broken from both ends there. But Akez able to come out on top. And APEKS once again pulling it back from the brink. GAMBIT youngsters are crumbling. My goodness, it is strange to see. That is... What? Watching it in slow motion doesn't make it any less crazy.
Whew. APEKS dodging the bullet. Single op out from Shiro. Hobbit playing well towards the B site now. Nafany, good night. It's a headshot on Dennis, but it's not enough. No follow-up. And I mean, APEKS, so much time. You have the opening pick. You know, GAMBIT have to rotate someone over to pick this up. And you're just going to play the long game, right? Hope no one pushes long, which is kind of what Axile's doing. But he's scared to really pressure those doors. They have GAMBIT pretty much in the palm of their hand, Scrib. I mean, look how nervous Hobbit is, right? Axile has to push long literally 10 seconds ago so Hobbit can continue to anchor. And him getting 1, that's it. That's round. I think GAMBIT youngsters need to get back to what was working on Vertigo. And what worked for them in the past on this map. Mid-round aggressive decisions. No one made a push for information. No one tried to push long with Axile. Catwalk was wide open. They had no eyes or ears what was happening across the map. And Hobbit had no choice but to fall out of B. You can't stay in there alone. Especially when that rotator came to held mid has to leave. APEKS are just calling masterpieces right now.
I know, it's kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy. But we'll see. We'll see. There's still definitely room. GAMBIT youngsters, if they can move up to 5, the pause is certainly required here, Keith, but we will see. Oh, my goodness. It's just wild. It's so unbelievable. Every time we've watched GAMBIT youngsters over the past, like, 4 months, they have really been in the lead. There's maybe a couple of matchups where they're not the favorites, but when they are the favorites, machines. Absolutely unstoppable. Goes the way that you would think, and even above and beyond, to be honest with you. So yeah, it is very, very surprising here. And there's potential for it to get even more surprising. 13-2 on the cards, and not impossible for APEKS by the looks of things. So GAMBIT youngsters need to get the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. And even then, it's still kind of up in the air for me.
Yeah. Big question marks to be had. Finally, Axile gets a kill without it being traded. There's that mid-round decision. immediately. And then if you're wondering, what do you consider mid-round? Anything after a first pick or a fight for map control, in my opinion, is mid-round, not necessarily time dependent. And Gambit youngsters, pressure long, take mid, alleviate pressure for the catwalk player, means Shiro can just settle in and play a bit more lax. And this has been a long time coming. It's been a hot minute since you've seen Gambit youngsters the man advantage script.
Oh, well, it's not gonna last too long by the looks of things, especially with awkward exchanges like that. Shiro going down. Inters is now isolated on this site. Axile gonna fall. Hobbit comes in from behind, though, taking down Dennis finally and retaining the man advantage for now. Inters with a nice little off angle, but he's flagged it up. That's an absolute mess. I think it was even a team flash coming in. You can see there's no real assist. Marcelius, meanwhile, sticking around on the edge of the smoke. Nafany gonna move in. Marcelius takes him down. Left on 10 HP. Surely doable for Hobbit. And well, he checks the wrong angle. So smart from Hobbit to jump down. Gambit youngsters will indeed get their third on the board, but it is hard fought. Very costly indeed. And Apex, they've got plenty of cash available, so they'll just look to go again. And 12-3, still pretty damn good. Not a bad scoreline at all.
I mean, no Hobbit, no round wins. Like, he has pretty much been the sole contributor in a lot of these round wins. I mean, Axel and Nafany are there, but Hobbit's gotten a lot of the impact frags. He's been the facilitator to a lot of these rounds. And it seems like the SG will make an appearance. At least Hobbit makes an effort to grab the op for Shiro, and here comes Truth. Now towards Long, and Axile gonna give it up. So Gambit youngsters have stopped fighting for Long. Axile got used to having that control for free. And the difference maker from Gambit lately, it's been a lot of cat and mid pressure. And I thought Marcelius hit that flick, but it's Gruss to double in with an SG. Equally absurd.
Oh, Gruss. Key pickup on the backside. Making this round look even less doable for Gambit youngsters. Wow, they're the ones, it seems, who are fluking things out. This is crazy. And it's good to see, man. You know, the mighty can indeed fall. They are indeed mortal. And the full-on return, the upward trajectory that they were on since adding Hobbit, taking another hit. So certainly, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's not terrible, but things working out against them. Axile trapped in at short, trying to fight his way out. Shiro's already made it out with that AWB. And yeah, as soon as he tries to exit, will get dropped. The 12-3 is certainly possible for me, Keith. I feel the money going into the next round for Gambit youngsters is pretty much going to be non-existent. This is wild, as you would say.
Yeah, this is wild, but the little difference here, Scriv, is it's wild, right? What's the difference? Well, capital W and exclamation point at the end. You know, it is insane what Apex has been able to pull off here. Gambit youngsters, not themselves. They made the change late in pressuring mid and catwalk a bit more so than long because, again, Apex have been there once in a blue moon early to make Gambit want to put pressure there, but their default has just been so good from the Apex side. We haven't seen the typical prod for information from Gambit off-pace fights that we're used to seeing. Apex have them contained. AK's getting one there, honestly perfectly fine for the outcome. And Nafany, this should be free. Can Truth shut him down? No. Marcelius now put in some awkward spots. Missed shot. Here comes Nafany. Flank is in from Axile. And that's how you pinch mid. That's cool stuff from Gambit.
Hobbit and Shiro able to finish off proceedings in the first half. A mighty task ahead of them here on the T side. Like we said, their T side looked very good earlier. Okay, I would say for them a little more T-sided as well coming into Dust 2. Maybe a bit more matchup dependent, but all the same, not impossible here, Keith. But really going to be tough. And I think if there's any team that's capable of a win like this, of a comeback like this, it definitely is going to be Gambit youngsters, right? At this kind of level. The team that we would expect to just turn things around out of nowhere. Those odds, man, shifting massively. Oh, goodness. APEKS, the clear favorites moving into the second half. Let's see what they got.
Oh, Hobbit. That's a big first there, Shiro with the P250. Here we go. Finding themselves in this T-side pistol. They are T-sided team, Scriv, but are they defeated? So far in pistol, not the case. We'll really get a good taste toward in rifle. But look at Shiro, still here with the P250, Scriv.
Looking good. Does get one more. Dealt with quickly, though. I feel like finding his second for the round, certainly done his work. It's all going to be onto APEKS and Dennis both coming in from short. Axile not taking any chances, just playing for the information. Going to drop down to try and help his teammate out as well. Great little three-man setup. Surely impenetrable. It is indeed. Axile going to drop the final two players. And there you go. Gambit youngsters move through to round number 5. Nice and clean. Cool, calm and collected. New half, new me, Keith. That's the approach here. You just got to forget about the first one and hope that, you know, your energy and your ability moving into the T side is enough.
I mean, we know they have the ability. Question is, are they going to have that mental resilience, which I mentioned they have? Are they going to be able to display it? And that flick from Marcelius, a little disgusting. APEKS opening pick. Truth getting up close and personal with his deagle. Even if he just gets one, it makes the B retake doable. Hobbit leading the charge. Won't check it. But the one and done comes in, and that is beautiful from Inters. He'll drop the smoke, and they'll take the site. Axile with bomb. Needed that pick. And they kind of have him trapped. This is awkward. Oh!
Okay.
What was that?
Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. And that's the bomb as well. Oh, Gambit. What? The tight ship they usually run has sprung a leak. This is insane. One on the bomb. Oh, and one away from the bomb. Inters gets the best timing of his life with that. 40 seconds left. It's not impossible. Dennis is now upgraded to a Galil, of course. That's certainly going to be hard to get through. Inters is just going to try and bomb his way in. 30 seconds. Kind of needs to find the frag. Dennis is ready and waiting. Inters checking all the angles. It's a great off angle here, actually. A hidden one, yeah. And he hears Inters coming. Dennis going to peek and take him down. APEKS up to 12. Winning the 4 spy. I am a little speechless that Gambit youngsters are letting rounds like this slip away.
Unreal that APEKS can pull that off, but at the same time, the way the game's been going, Scriv, I feel like APEKS were just due for one of those. They won majority of the rounds with rifles and full buys. I just feel like it was just bound to happen. Gambit youngsters are defeated, not playing exactly like themselves, and you just saw APEKS just absolutely clap them there. On all maps, Dust 2 has been the closest one between APEKS and Gambit. Last time they played, it went to OT on this map. And Gambit ended up winning like 22-19. So I went double OT. And now Gambit youngsters, double save means you're buying. And if you're buying, right here, right now, you're giving APEKS a huge window of opportunity to climb up to that oh-so-desired 14, Scriv. That is impressive. Blowouts typically don't happen, especially, and I'm not exaggerating or under-exaggerating when I say this, especially against Gambit youngsters.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly it, to be honest. It's just everything that's stacked up here is kind of crazy and really exciting to watch, though. Can't reiterate enough, you know, how much we're here for this. It's just surprising. But APEKS giving them a good run for their money. And the thing is as well, we talk about Gambit youngsters, a great team to come back and all that kind of stuff. APEKS seem like the perfect team as well to just completely catch you off guard and come out with an incredible performance. We've seen it so often from them where they'll come into a matchup, come into a map, and we'll be like, yeah, not really got any chance. And they'll end up winning, right? They just, I think, surprise themselves from time to time. Marcelius somehow lives through that one. Truth gonna fall eventually, but the cavalry is here. It's all good. Akez on the flank. And it should be there round with no more frags. It is indeed. So there you are. Apex moving up to 13. It continues to baffle me. And no buy available in this round for Gambit youngsters even. Wow.
Look at this buy. Only 2 AKs. The Mac 10. I said it was a double save, or you do this. And this is the buy you're looking at. Hobbit gonna try to come out quick. Molly gets extinguished. He's looking at the ground. He's hopping. He's getting into pit. Dennis has no idea what movement from Hobbit. That was so cool. He's been doing plays like that all series long, but that one takes the cake.
It does seem to be leading from the front. And they are revitalized once these rifles have come into play. Imagine if they don't lose that force buy, you suddenly start to believe, right? Maybe just a little bit, but like the fact that it's so far gone into the game with Apex having such a strong lead, I'm not so sure. Looking good though. I mean, starting to win fights now. 1v1s as well. Like clean 1v1. No utility there or anything, right? Axile looked like he was a little bit caught off guard and yet comes out on top. So the energy and the confidence certainly still there for Gambit youngsters. They are not down and out just yet. I think they indeed believe that they could pull this back, which would be A, incredible, and B, devastating for Apex, but hedging bets at the moment. I think with this one though, Keith, should be able to get another one, maybe even two strung together. It depends on what Apex. I would imagine a half buy into the next and then full buy after that. Or because the economy is all over the place, they might just look to force with the amount of rounds they have in advantage and even up the money line, as it were.
Very true. Very true. Decisions on the horizon. 5 players alive. That'll help. But yeah, without that eco loss, this game could have been a lot closer currently. I mean, they could have probably been up to 7, 8. Easily, probably 8. That movement from Hobbit, really cool. He had just such good timing. I think he even hit a couple hops, picked up some speed, the flashes over the top. Keeping those CTs looking away while he makes that sly move into the pit. And I guess Apex didn't communicate it was a force buy in time. Now they're laid out a spawn. And they're left with 2 players trapped at car. A little awkward. They're not really prepared for any of this. I think Apex might have just shot themselves in the foot a little bit here.
And maybe a bit. Oh, Beagle of APEKS and Truth on the Org. Again, defying the odds here on the Apex side. Oh my goodness, Shiro coming in from the back end to try and pull this round back to normality for them, but that's certainly easier said than done. If Gruss finds that one, I think they win the round, but unfortunately not going to be the case. Now on to Dennis. Has to capitalize on them being split, but Shiro gets the drop on him. Oh my goodness. Can't take too many rounds like that. I've had enough caffeine already today. I don't need my heart rate going any higher, to be honest, but all the same, Gambit youngsters picking up the 7th.
Whew, man, I don't know if I can take it either. All I can say is thank goodness for Shiro. Looking like the power there for a moment. Very passive from Gambit youngsters. Understanding this mid push is a big possibility. They've already lost 1 Apex force buy round, right? You don't want to make it 2. That's kind of the last thing on your list.
Oh. Inters might be a little worse for wear here. He's got a teammate to help him out. Okay, what's happened here? Truth over on the A-bomb site, that is. Okay, I was going to say, did his little friend get taken down there? That would have been a bit crazy, but not going to be the case. AK to come away with here. I think they can be happy with that. Maybe Dennis moves in to try and find some more damage, but would assume they take the AK into the next round. Or not. Feeling very confident in themselves here, Keith. It looks like. But the smoke going to keep them at bay for a long, long time. Not a chance at the round. But yeah, I think he goes to save here. The smart decision for sure.
Little audio bait from Dennis, right? Falling off, then coming back up. Hoping his position gets overlooked. He really wants to find one, but he'll peek in a 2, and goodbye, Dennis. So APEKS halted at 13 until the following round, when we'll see the yacht, we'll see the full rifles, and look at the Gambit youngsters' money script. They built up a little bit of a cushion for the push-in, a little bit of backup and fallback rounds, because we know, based on the scoreline, Gambit need to have a bit of a security blanket, and they at least have that secured.
Here we go. APEKS. Kind of quaking a little bit. Of all the teams to deny a comeback from, you want Gambit youngsters to be kept down and out. But at the moment, they are in control. A little bit. Definitely not, you know, tight. Kind of hanging on by maybe not a single thread, but 4 or 5. Not much better, right? However, you yourself on that APEKS side need to make this double upset work, and truth, opening up is the perfect result. Hobbit's also being tagged up by some early nadage. Meanwhile, Dennis playing under the smoke. What an angle. Hobbit tries to fight him. Axal coming over the top to find the trade, and that is a key one for Axal as the smoke dissipates. Inters, meanwhile, holding the flank. Gruss seems somewhat savvy. Information that there's a B player around. All the same. 3 on 3. Bomb goes down. The CT's
no one wants
unsure.
to move.
Yeah, very split. Patience. Going to pay off for Inters. Finds one. Oh, and Marcelius almost falls. It's close, but surely he's left low enough for the rest of the squad to dish out the damage. Great flash. He will drop. And now all left onto a Kez. He has a lot of work to do, making a lot of noise, looking to take the fight to them. Not going to work out. Gambit youngsters move up to 9, and APEKS are on another eco.
Very Gambit youngsters to start bringing this back. We talked about the mental fortitude of both of these teams, and it seems like Gambit youngsters are not one to give up on a game ever, Scriv. And they haven't yet, as mentioned. As I have a bit of a yawn, my goodness. As I mentioned, that bank being built by Gambit youngsters, they finally broke it. They've just 1 round win. They're sending APEKS right back down to pistols. The max loss not allowing them to buy back-to-back. And you start to believe now, Scrib. It seems like Gambit youngsters is T side. As we know, fits their play style a bit better. And starting to kind of run over the APEKS boys here, even when APEKS have full buys.
Yeah, man. I mean, maybe a little. Pistol Master Dennis still in action, but only good for 1. But yeah, definitely believing ever so slightly in the Gambit youngsters process here, the T side, as we said. And as I've been pushing throughout the game, right, and building up, it looked so good on Vertigo. And now we move into the said T side, and it looks so good on Dust too. The issue is, maybe that 10-5 scoreline, maybe dropping the force buy early on in this second half could cost them. Right? One mistake, and the game isn't lost necessarily, but it comes awfully close. Yeah, the pressure back on to perform. So it is going to be a tough one here. No mistakes from here on in, I would advise. Maybe when it gets to 13-13, you can perhaps drop around, but even then, I don't think you want to give any momentum across to APEKS. Flash coming over the top. This speedy round, or may well be their downfall. Truth, though, is so very blind, looking to try and find the frags. It's not going to happen. Nafany and Inters, entry in cleanly. The 4 versus 3. And APEKS, you need to save this one. Going for it is going to be your downfall. I honestly believe that. And I think they heed the call. And they will indeed just look for some exits.
Here we go. Starting to happen, isn't it, Scriv? You have to start to feel really good about this. GAMBIT youngsters running it back. On top of that, rounds haven't really been close. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse by saying this, but look at that T-side economy. Dennis, you gotta live, my friend. Someone's got to drop truth, and it is you. APEKS can buy himself completely. And I think APEKS at this moment need to start stringing rounds together. They can't just get one, then lose. They have to string 2 together, Scriv, and it's got to be now. GAMBIT youngsters are feeling it, and you got to throw a wrench into that conversation, because you can't let GAMBIT run amok like they are right now.
Oh, great little flash coming in. Folks over the top. GAMBIT youngsters, newfound confidence here. You can really feel the energy picking up. Marcelius, meanwhile, it's a messy kind of boost up to the site, you have to admit. But GAMBIT youngsters slowing things down. They went fast for the long control and now reining it back in. Just under 1:10 left here. As it really has slowed down after that super aggressive start into things. They are now looking to execute in, close the gap. Slow but sure. Oh, look at the damage. There must have been some bit of an exchange, I think, over the top of the smokes. Marcelius and Shiro tagging each other up, it looks like. And this could indeed be deadly. The double pump coming in here from the T side, Keith. This is... oh my goodness, so incredibly tense. Perhaps the most important round of the game so far, particularly for APEKS. Gruss above the smoke. It's a great angle, but he's so very blind. Marcelius, though, staying alive. Bomber's been dropped. It's a little crazy. It's a little wild, but GAMBIT youngsters seem to be coming out on top. Yes, no, hard to tell. 2 versus 2 now with a combined HP of 30 is really not looking good. Quick elevate, a quick swing from Hobbit. Desperate to go for it, and Shiro on 1 HP has to pull off an incredible Shiro clutch. He's flashed, he's off the angle, and he says, no, sir. Gonna back away and save his AWP into the next.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I think that's more Shiro not going, I can't win this clutch. It's more Shiro, I don't want to give them a free op. I do not want to give them this op to build a bit of bank on their opper. No, I'm going to make them spend every dollar, as Marcelius does, on their own. He didn't want to toss them a bone and give them a bit of a way back into this. No. He knows they're set for at least another buy, if not 2 after this. And he understands APEKS are on the ropes. They got not a lot. They're on thin ice. And GAMBIT youngsters right back into the default. Maybe some late long control. APEKS committing quite a bit for it. Naxile probably going to let his teammates know, and they're probably going to start to shift into cat within the next 20 seconds.
Seconds almost up here. Moving in. They got a fever right now. They are really quaking on both sides. Marcelius breaks the silence. Gruss as well taking the fight to them. Dennis going to take down Axile. That certainly, surely seals the deal for this round. Inters does find one on B, and Shiro is somehow still alive in at middle. Got to be careful, however, trying to take a fight. Doesn't quite work out for him. And they have half control of the B bomb site. Craziness comes in. APEKS coming out on top. You can still feel that they believe the 4 versus 2 is losable. They don't want to get crazy. They don't just want to swing in. Still playing it safe. Shiro will look to join his teammate here, but with 20 seconds left, it's not looking too good. Fight through the door to try and get them off for now. Shiro somehow has to survive the jump across the double doors. Not really looking too doable for him. Inters, again, trying to take fights, but nothing's working out. The jump successful. Inters gets one through the door. Here we go. This is where it spices up as Inters finds another. The bomb's gone down. Inters gets a third. No way. No way. The 4K overall looking for the ace. Marcelius is in the 1-on-2. He's retrieved an AWP, which is great, but he's got to find the clutch up here for APEKS. This would be absolutely devastating. Inters so far is insane. Will it continue? That's the real question. Marcelius trying his best to no-scope around, but nothing is coming, Keith. Oh my goodness, Gambit youngsters. They may well be down, but they are definitely not out. They continue to deliver.
Wow. Resilience, resilience, resilience. Mental strength through the roof. Right when they need someone to step up, Inters gets 4. Are we kidding? Is this serious? I really hope the replay is ready and ready to rock, because that is absurd. APEKS, I have a feeling they're going to buy. Scriv, Truth can drop. Dennis can buy. Marcelius has his up. And I mean, I'm not even going to speak. I'm just going to let this talk for itself. Like, what? And it's APEKS having the right idea, but just Shiro, or Inters, excuse me, being just so good. Unreal. Pause from APEKS. Gonna have a discussion. I bet they're talking about buying here, Scriv.
Yeah, I just needed as we say in the north of England, a quick drink. As that was pretty damn intense, to be honest with you. And I'm still with a beaming smile on my face, because this is it's got to be one of the best teams to watch at this level, honestly. Gambit youngsters. Credit to APEKS, they've looked so good, but like when Gambit youngsters turn it up, when they have those big rounds and those clutch moments, it is honestly so fun to watch. And part of the reason I think why, you know, you, I, and the thousands of people watching at the moment have a love for the game, and of course the 12, I guess, members on the server, including those coaches. Shout out. Hopefully not doing anything naughty. I don't think at the moment. It definitely won't be, to be honest. I'm not sure what they've been dubbed. The Mihao demos, I think, maybe? I'm not sure. Is it Mika? I'm not sure if I'm butchering the pronunciation. You know what I'm talking about, Keith, alright? And I'm just hoping. If I know my guy Finn like I know, you know, he's a cool guy, but you never know. Hunden was a cool guy.
I'm just gonna let you sink with that one.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there, I think. Nafany rushing out at long here, gonna find the opener.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move on. So they ended up half buying around the up. Not only did it not find a pick, they also got tagged at the beginning on the hog that was brought into the round for Truth. Bit of a brutal start for the APEKS side. Still Truth, hopeful. I mean, how quick is Shiro? Right eye peek, flick on up. Not buying it, is he? They're still gonna commit. August here, but it's gonna have to be one of the best odd clips you've seen in a while, Scriv.
Yeah, absolutely. Gruss on the Deke, though. I mean, they could work well off each other here to find a bit of damage. Not going to be the case. Just tapping away on that angle. They know it well here. APEKS able to get one. And they kind of slow things down. Almost finding Hobbit, but Hobbit jumps into action to take him down. Moving up to 13 for Gambit youngsters. Here we go. The pressure is on. Do or die for APEKS, it feels like. I think it might just be. If they lose this, surely the last buy of the game for them, or the last strong buy anyway.
Yeah, pause for Gambit. Definitely, if this doesn't go Apex's way, it would be their last goodbye. They invest into the double op, no utility for truth. Gambit have done it, Scriv. They've run the gauntlet, they've run it back. We said Apex needs to win Dust 2, because Mirage and Overpass are tough looks. I actually thought Dust 2 would be more challenging than Overpass, but it seems like that's starting to become the case. Didn't start that way. They got to get back to the feeling they were having before. They've lost that vibe. They've lost that momentum. Kind of like what Inters and Shiro have done, right? They've had their moments, their big clutches, their big picks and kills to win their team a round or two. Hobbit, the exact same. He was a beast. A big part of Gambit bringing this back. Apex needs someone to step up themselves to really bring this home and bring it over the line.
All quiet, of course, in this pause. It's really not even the sharpest of knives can cut the tension here. Apex in the barrel. Really not looking good. One final stand here on Dust 2, it feels like, and it will have to be a valiant one. It will have to be a winning one. But we'll see. As the action gets underway, the double up setup has been successful for them. Whether that continues is another factor. Early rush into the tunnels, but of course not really following up on the fact. It is a spread out default with a bit more pressure on the lower tunnels area. So to me, Keith, this seems they may look to move into that mid to B split. Or towards short. That's the other option. I wanted to pick one so I could be seen as right, you know what I mean, rather than displaying both the options, but maybe I should have done that because it will end up being a short hit by the looks of things here. Axile takes down Dennis at long. Uh-oh.
Oh. Troublesome. And with a double op, how do you even retake A? How do you begin? Sure, you have long control, but like, what do you do? This is an insta-save call, especially if they don't find Axile. Now that they did, they might be kind of committed and sold on the idea, Scriv. But I think they save. They're going to be playing 14-14. There's no way they go for this, in my opinion.
I mean, they are. They fancy their chances. The time ticking away. They don't have a lot of time to work with. Truth, though, going to drop Shiro. Makes things more interesting, but still not a lot of time. Nafany just needs to hide away. Short's being denied away. Nafany will go down, but, like, no time. I guess they get to save. Oh, I was going to say on 2, but even the thought cursed them. And Marcellius the only one to survive. Of course, all the Gambit Youngsters players die. Who cares? They have so much cash. They have enough cash for the rest of the game. And Apex, well, not so much.
It's got to sit up because this is getting a little wild. Apex buying around the saved up. 14-14. No matter what, we're going into that round 30. Question is, will it be Apex fighting for the win and Gambit for OT, or vice versa? And after all the hard work Apex have put in, it'd be a shame for them to not at least secure that OT. Again, they need someone. In my opinion, has to be Marcellius here. He's been a ghost. He has been a shell of himself, Scriv.
So much aggression here out long. Could be the round the game deciding round. Marcelius to open up. B-bomb site. Looking slightly vulnerable for a second. Another smoke going to go down, though, and they are pushed back. So that opening frag is very key indeed from Marcelius. Minute and 20 left on the clock. As they will start to creep forwards ahead of the smoke. Truth, though, only good for one. And Akez goes down without finding a frag. That's the key difference. That's the big linchpin play here for Gambit youngsters. They're going to look to reposition. Yeah, not save, of course. Not really in the wheelhouse of APEKS towards the end here. They're more about the Hail Mary plays. Gruss going down, though, surely... Oh, makes the decision for them, but they're hanging around. Marcelius fancies his chances. Dennis trying to creep up the stairs here, but Shiro taking an even safer angle than he was already in. Bomb ticking away. He hits the flick onto the flying Dennis, and Marcelius will move away to save, but even that's going to be tough. Goes down. Oh, no. Disaster strikes for APEKS. Gambit youngsters move up to 15, and they have, what, maximum 3.7k, it looks like, to their name. 3.7k is the highest amount, so... Not looking good, but these are the rounds, aren't they? These are the rounds that they end up taking.
Yeah, I mean, knowing the Apex boys, they're going to be fighting as hard as they can in this round, but it might be the rounds that they win, but probably not the way Gambit youngsters are playing. Let's be real. Gambit are looking like a whole new beast the last 5-6. Well, do we go to OT, Scriv, or do we swiftly move into Mirage, which will be a different story for APEKS? Gambit default into cat control. We've seen this 100 times, but it comes down to the first fight, as it always has so far in these last few.
Moving into the A-bomb site. Somewhat empty here. So it looks like a 5-on-5 retake, I guess. Yeah, looking at the minimap, there's not really anyone in position on either side to find an early frag here. So the CT's going to have to move in with limited utility, weak weaponry. Ooh, an Axile turning away. Timing going to be absolutely everything here. Here's the steps towards Long. I don't know that he's here. He could creep up. Gets the information in at the very least for his boys. Marcelius is able to come in with one, but surely goes down. This is the only kill, by the way. He does get a second, but he will be denied away. 16-14. Gambit youngsters come back from an 11-4 first half. Their T side absolutely stellar on Vertigo, and my God, they go 1 or 2 better there on Dust 2.
I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah.
I was at first, K. Let me just run you through the mixed emotions I had throughout this game, right? Starts off really good for APEKS. I was very excited and happy for them. Hobbit played out of his mind on that B-side anchor. Gave his team a lot of chances, won a few rounds himself, and then his team kind of failed him. But once they got on that T side, it is such a different beast from Gambit. And no surprise, Hobbit led the way. 29 kills in regulation, Scriv. He was an absolute beast. And Gambit, once they got on that T side, default, opening picks galore, finding the seconds, executing cleanly. I mean, APEKS, they just fumbled the ball there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like, I can't really add too much more to it. Like, I think the pressure gets them a bit. Gambit youngsters obviously having some insane rounds. That Inters, 4K, you know, the 3 at the door particularly. Mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And those are the types of rounds that Gambit youngsters as a squad seem to be able to pull out. But yeah, so they do have to look internally to drop an 11-4 half. At the same time, maybe not massively harsh on themselves, because Gambit youngsters just on that other level that a lot of teams struggle to hit. So the fact that they bring it close, I think, plays into that challenge, plays into that difficulty that we said Gambit youngsters were going to have. Not this difficult, but all the same. certainly living up to expectations.
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, we saw the mental strength from both teams. Apex trying to fight back, Gambit making it such a crazy run all the way back. I am very impressed with Gambit, especially after like the tight Vertigo game, coming into this and making a comeback. Impressive stuff. Can Apex bounce back on Mirage? I'm not sure. It's such a good map for Gambit. They all need a break, and so do we. When we come back, map 2.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, the home of gaming excellence, and it's time for map number 2 between APEKS and GAMBIT Youngsters. We just saw GAMBIT Youngsters run it back. Let me set the little bit of picture and a little bit of memory in case you just missed it. APEKS went 11-4 on their T side, looking beautiful. Jumping over to their CT side, only getting 3 rounds, halted at 14, while GAMBIT got 12. They steal away APEKS's map pick. It's kind of why we talk about GAMBIT Youngsters and being deadly and unpredictable at times. That's an example of it. And they move on to Mirage. I mean, this map is just comfort zone for GAMBIT, isn't it, Scriv?
Yeah, I think so, right? It's a map that a lot of people maybe don't give them as much credit on. This time a year ago kind of thing, right? This was the map that they looked the best on. This was their home map before they went on this incredible tear, before they were really getting the attention of, you know, bigger teams and all that kind of stuff. Mirage was the map. It's not necessarily fallen off. I think they maybe went through a period that people didn't want to play it against them. And now that they just have a super deep map pool, it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess we've got to play GAMBIT Youngsters on whatever map. But this one doesn't come out as much. Maybe, again, has fallen into that category of they play it when they have to, because, indeed, they do have the confidence on it. Meanwhile, APEKS, you know, it's the weakest map that they play. I have seen them bring a lot of these results close, though. Although it's only a 27% win rate, it often is difficult. And with GAMBIT Youngsters having a few issues on Dust 2, maybe want to patch up those issues quickly.
Bad news, though, Scriv. Let me count the recent... They went on a bit of a losing streak, did APEKS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. Finally a win. And then they, losses to Fours, Fair, Espada, Skade, Selecta, Mad Lions.
And those scorelines I was talking about, not as close as they have been in the past. Yeah,
exactly. I see the ones in the past you're talking about, like Singularity 4s, Budapest 5, the earlier weeks into Malta Vibes. But let me just throw some numbers at you that aren't promising. Again, it's kind of like what we saw in Hellraisers on Vertigo, right? 26% win rate, sure. 4 for 11. They only win 33% of pistols. Not great, right? CT round percentage, 44. That's got to be higher, especially for a map like Mirage. And then T round is 45. So, I mean, at least they're consistent, keeping their round win percentage the same on both sides. But it has to get a bit better than this. They only win 69% of rounds they get the first kill in. I mean, close to that 70, that's good. But this is the kicker. A map like Mirage is typically individual plays, individual prowess, clutches on clutches on clutches, able to win rounds with man disadvantages, typically. It's the most forgiving map in that sense. They only win 21.7% of rounds after death. That's the kicker.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them, dude. There is an awful lot of them. It seems those stats that you're throwing at me that don't really go in favor of APEKS. They lose the knife out here as well, so gonna be a little rough. Gonna be a little rough to deal with. Might have been the HUD baiting me out, actually, as it so often does. Curse you, HUD. But, I mean, it looks... I joke. I kid. It's just the fact that, you know, at the start of these games, things swap about and it takes a second or two to catch up, and it's on me. I should be checking the names, of course. But either way, we're into the action. It is GAMBIT Youngsters start off on the T side of things. They have the odds pretty heavily in their favor here as well. So APEKS work is indeed, as they know, as we know, as even the fans know, cut out. It's really not going to be easy. And the T side of GAMBIT Youngsters today is where they're finding most of their success.
Man, look at this. P250 on Shiro. Saw him pop off with it last T side. Gonna give it a go as they go into a BX scoot here, Scriv. Can APEKS hang on?
That's a beautiful shot to open up. Hobbit does trade him back. I mean, he opens up with the crispest one tap you've ever seen and then misses a bunch of shots. So B bomb site left vulnerable, left very vulnerable indeed. The flank held off easily. And they will have to push forwards at a man disadvantage. No kit in play at all. Really not looking good. It is down there at Get Right, actually. Gruss coming in with 2. So suddenly looks a little more doable. A lot of damage off the back of the P250, though. Shiro, that raid boss in these pistol rounds so very often. And, well, he's living up to the namesake. However, Gruss able to drop him before he actually finds any frags. All onto Nafany, who is indeed low. Headshot lands quickly. The bomb ticking away. Truth is on 10 HP. Just playing the time, and that's all he needs to do. Should be the round one. Truth going to try and tap him away. Both players jumping all over the shop. Truth will drop him, but of course the bomb too far gone, and GAMBIT youngsters secure the pistol round.
Wow. Buying just enough time for GAMBIT youngsters to get that round across the board. The exact same buy we are used to seeing GAMBIT make is going to be the double act 10. Couple players below the 1 AK, whoever can afford it. Typically, they go 2 for them, while APEKS actually buying up double MP9. It's a decent buy. The Scout, Deagles, all things considered, I don't hate this. Good flash over. Pushing top mid is Truth. I think his days are numbered. I'm pretty sure he's spotted. I'm surprised they haven't mollied him. I guess they didn't see him, Scriv. That's wild. Here's your reward and goodbye.
Oh god, that is wild. Once
Dennis
again.
I don't know what Dennis was thinking. Maybe that he died. That's so funny.
Oh goodness. But APEKS coming out with an advantage. Pretty solid. Really good stuff from them. Looking very scary indeed. GAMBIT youngsters again, you know, out of the frying pan into the fire, it feels like, against this squad. They are very unpredictable and they do not seem to care. They've just lost us to in close fashion. Well, guess what? We're going to continue playing our game. We're going to continue getting in your face. This is a great angle from Akez. Able to find one. Not able to get away, though. Blinded up, and it certainly is doable for the AK, for the Galil. You know, 2 formidable weapons to deal with, particularly when you're moving into a bomb site. Automatic versus... Ooh, yeah, those most stagnant weapons. They kind of know it as well. Picking up 2 SMGs to work with. No kit, of course. Time going to be of the essence. The range needs to be shut down, and that's not going to happen. Short is demolished by Enters and Shiro. All left on to Marcelius with a scout. Would be insane if he clutches this up, and not going to happen. Great little off angle from Inters. And GAMBIT youngsters stave off disaster. Still a bit too close for comfort, though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if Dennis doesn't nade Truth there, he hangs on to top mid control, right? That gun doesn't get a naded away from top mid. Maybe we see a bit of a different outcome there. That's not completely on Dennis, but is a funny little bit of tidbit from that round. As GAMBIT youngsters feeling very confident towards top mid, they'll go. They understand APEKS only have some freebie pistols. While Inters will look to make money, as will the other Mac 10 Scrib. Now, do you have any win conditions from APEKS here, or is it just mentally reset and try to play your game? We know they can win the fights, but it is GAMBIT youngsters, after all, on their home turf, essentially. Like, this is one of their most played maps. It's up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, right? They just have to not think about it, play their own game. And the way that they did in the last round, to be honest with you, like, try and find a bit more of that. It can just be hard and risky to do that on the CT side. Like, if it doesn't work out, obviously at the moment, no one's really that bothered. They've lost the pistol anyway. But in a rifle round, if it doesn't work out, it could end up, you know, costing you 2 or 3 rounds. So it's hard. It's hard. And forgetting sort of who you're playing against a team like GAMBIT youngsters, again, very hard, because they are just so aggressive, unique, and will indeed remind you that you're playing against GAMBIT youngsters. Looking at you, Inters, you know, that incredible 3K. Those types of rounds seem to happen at least once a map, if not 2 or 3 times. It really depends on what they've had for breakfast. You know, I think it was the other day, Shiro was clutching, like, it felt like half the rounds, half the situations he was put in to clutch up, he did, which is just nuts.
I like this setup on triple and CT. Scriv, Truth's going to be really tested here in triple. He's going to be able to get the first. Can he convert more, Scriv? It seems like he cannot.
Oh, pick up from Axile in middle, excuse me. Gonna get a second as well. Nafany, meanwhile, demolishing things at CT. It is... Wow, very quickly falling apart there. Gambit youngsters move up to 4 almost instantaneously. It looked for just a second that APEKS would have some kind of competition, but no, falls apart. And yeah, back to square one, I guess, for the CT side.
Well, not the start APEKS really wanted, is it? Had the weapons, had a decent setup. They just allowed the Galil in mid to cut down 2 players very early while the XQ was coming in. That essentially can't happen without a trade, or really at all. You know, youngsters smoke off top connector. Based on the minimap, looks like they're falling back. Leave Hobbit mid. And they're just going to try and execute onto A, not wanting to get really caught by these Deagles. 1 bullet is the scary part about the Deagle Brigade. 1 bullet, and it can snowball into oblivion.
Oh, there it is, the 1 bullet. Gruss sticking around for more even. Does get taken down, though, this time. Marcelius. Was he spotted? I don't think so. They have to be careful here. Meanwhile, Nafany coming through for the trade. They are doing a good job of damage control here on the T side. Maybe just a little too much damage coming in. The untraded frag now going to make the difference. 2 Deagles at CT, however. This is a great angle. Not only for 1, but for 2. They can help each other out quite well from here. Dennis going to take down Hobbit. They're both still alive. Akez goes down. Dennis's position going to be known. Swings into 2. But at the very least, APEKS keeping things competitive. Keep knocking on this door. Although the money is pretty damn good for Gambit youngsters, it's not as insane as it could be. So, trying to see the good with the bad here for the CT side. At the moment, I don't think they're that bothered. Right? It's nice. Kill bonus, stats, keeping the enemy economy modest, all that good stuff that we talk about. But, like, they just need to get around on the board. Because Gambit youngsters, like, we saw what they were able to do with momentum on the previous map.
A little bit of mid-aggression from APEKS. This could be the change that I've been waiting. The taking matters into your own hands. The setup really good. Typically, there needs to be a player catwalk, though, to make this a strong setup. Without it, Dennis is kind of on his own. He is dead. Yeah, they just leave him to the hounds. No catwalk player to really help and like pick up underpass if Dennis needs to peek top mid, right? None of that really happening. Gorgeous flash from Gambit to allow them to find the second of Truth, who really was hoping to get one and get out. And Gambit youngsters picking them apart at will right now.
Yeah, it really does seem like they have way too much control of things. APEKS panicking so... Oh, what? Grusto in a great position. Will manage to find a few, and he actually gets away. That is huge, but will it be enough? Of course, frags still come back in for Gambit youngsters, and Inters out on the site, able to eliminate another. Ball onto Marcelius. He has dropped the bomb at his feet here, but a great little flash. Ooh, and just about able to make it around the corner. So now it becomes a lot harder. Bomb goes down. Oh my goodness, Marcelius is coming so close with these shots. Things are starting to perhaps look a little better as he closes the gap. Nafany just playing the shoulder peek. Flash going to come over the top. The timing absolutely perfect for Marcelius. Manages to find the first, able to back away. And again, going for the bangers. Up onto the bomb. Starts to push forward into sees that he's not on it and will find the headshot, but it comes so close. Gambit youngsters again by the skin of their teeth. Picking up another.
Man, how good are Gambit youngsters looking right now? The comeback really facilitated this momentum, really hammered home the fact that they don't want to have to play in the best of 3. They want to close this out in their map pick, and they're looking to do so. Apex's buys are a mere scratch to Gambit. Shiro's up to $12,000. How to get close to my mic to really hammer home that point. Apex hoping this MP9 can allow some sort of first pick. And let's be honest, Axile is lucky to limp out of there. 9 HP. But he'll take that any time, any day of the week. As Gambit youngsters look to just move into this round, probably group up, look to some sort of contact, or maybe a set execute play scriv. But honestly, I don't even think they need to throw nades. They can just kind of waltz in and act like they own a site. Pure confidence is what they're displaying right now.
Oh, Gruss. He's looked so good on the Deagle. My God, those first couple bullets really not on the mark. I mean, he had to flick across, but all the same, somewhat shaky. Number 7 looking good here. Certainly potential for damage, but it should all sorted. Deagle headshot through, I would imagine, the box there. And now damage looking even more likely. Gambit youngsters kind of know that. They're wary of that fact. They want to keep this money line at the insane level that it's at. Celius in and out for 2 headshots. Will manage to drop one. Shiro and Axile got to be so careful. Bomb not yet gone down. What's happened here? A little bit weird. Someone's going to get the bomb down. Oh, no, and it's been denied by Truth on the 2K on the Deagle. What? What? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I am honestly a little bit speechless. Gambit youngsters, what has happened there? Pick a point and plant the bomb. It's just weird. Like, why do they feel pressured? Why are they waiting so long? The wackiest way to pick up your first round as Apex there. Of course, shout out to the Hellcase boys that were up and above. Malta V15. I do apologize for being late on it, of course.
You came at a wild time.
Yeah, crazy kind of round. The 2 codes that are available for you guys. 15% bonus refill. I tried to get it in before the first frag, but not going to happen because, of course, Gambit youngsters just charging forwards here, finding all the kills. Dennis does trade back onto the bomb, though, and now into a 3-on-3. Certainly not impossible for Apex, but just getting overwhelmed, aren't they? Moving like a pack.
They're leaving.
Gambit youngsters.
I think they're just going to sit. Yeah, so Axile has come out and cleaned up the entirety of the B site. Timing's on his side, but the longer they wait, the more Apex are going to know. Question is, are they paranoid enough to check? I mean, Dennis now knows someone's behind him, but it doesn't get calmed, or he doesn't have enough time to figure that one out. Gambit youngsters up to 7 scriv, and they really did have a bone to pick, right? You lose around in that fashion. They're like, you know what? We're going back to A. Not only are we going back to A, we're going to send one guy B to just secure it in case we run into trouble. The four of others of us, we're just going to walk out to A. We're going to throw a couple flashes. We're going to fight to our death. And they walk away with the round. Apex, I mean, they cannot catch a break. This has just been absolutely overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, not being able to catch a break really does sum it up for me. Solid stuff. Absolutely solid stuff. Really slowed down here. Minute 25 left on the clock. Oh, nade could be devastating. Doesn't do too much damage, though. A little lackluster. We will see a third player rotate in towards this B-bomb site, so certainly not going to be the easy rollover they were expecting. And, oh, the CZ staying alive. Dennis, meanwhile, spams around, but can't find anything. It looks like Gambit youngsters weather the storm and should be able to move forward to an 8th.
I think so. Feel like they're gonna be able to jump up there. No doubt in my mind, Truth and Gruss really wanting a gun for this Scriv. Gambit youngsters have had a T side of T sides. APEKS unable to find themselves, seemingly a little lost in the sauce, but can you blame them? Gambit have brought a whole bunch of different looks, from passive defaults to fiery mid takes to just walking out an A and really just putting the, like, you know, putting the boot down. Playing some very dominant rounds. APEKS have tried Scriv, but I'm very uncertain as to what APEKS really have to do to get around. I mean, look at even Gambit youngsters saving in market, typically a risk, but just doing it because they don't want to get killed. They don't want to give guns over. They're building their own economy, not giving anything free to APEKS, having to fight for every round and fight for every pick. Double ops, I was going to say, is probably the move. And I have a feeling Gambit youngsters might just be ready for this kind of counterplay.
Yeah, they always are, really. We talked about that adaptability against Hellraisers, and it really came to a head on Dust 2. And now in the lead, feeling confident, should, in theory, be simple enough for them. Bit of early damage onto Nafany. About 125 on the clock, and not an awful lot of action going down. Okay.
What?
That's a little insane. We got a collapse in from Marcelius. I think we missed it, unfortunately. The same. That's a bit crazy. And he gets another as well. All the kills coming in towards ramp. Gambit youngsters getting a little clapped.
I blinked? What just happened that round? That came out of nowhere. I mean, Gambit youngsters have plenty of cash for this buy, but like, you blink and Marcelli says 2, and then they're getting aggressive A and they shut down Gambit. So hey, APEKS lift the boot, get aggressive themselves, find a collat, and Gambit youngsters crumble. Now the real test and real question is, can they string 2 together, Scriv? That's always been a challenge, especially when your team's getting rolled a little bit. The challenge is A, getting the bounce back round, but B, finding the second that you really need to facilitate some sort of run back and redemption. And I don't hate this setup. Giving up middle is fine, but you just have to win this fight on the cat setup if it comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. Dennis. Oh, this position. Flash coming in. He turns away from it cleanly. Easy headshot. A nice early pickup going in their favor. We'll see, though. Marcelius forced away from the apartments. And I'm sure Gambit youngsters with 6 rounds in the lead will be happy for the challenge. See where it goes. Looking good. Oh, Gruss though going to win that fight, and that's very important. I felt he was going to go down there getting a bit caught off guard, but not bested. Meanwhile, Dennis, he's the one that is bested and caught off guard. Truth to peek out, but the flashes are so sound here. Working their way in towards the site, but as things are back into a 2-on-2. Shiro, that wallbang, to all the difference, gets the second, a round triple as well. What a beast. Having a Shiro round, up to 4 on that one, Keith.
Again, another one of those situations where, like, I want to replay. I need to see it again. What is happening in this match, Scriv? Just doing what he does best, isn't he? Like, that one is just nasty. The follow-up, a freebie, but that one through triple. It's a soul crusher. It's a heartbreaker. How many one-hit wonders can you reference as to how much that one hurt? Gambit youngsters waltzing in now. AKs aplenty. No more Galil when needed. It's all in. Apex buy it back because that one hurts. Could not string rounds together. And Gambit youngsters, double digits, T-side scrib. It could happen.
It absolutely could, but Grush has got other ideas. Massive double to open up with. And the 5-on-3 just like that. Gambit youngsters once again going to have to pull things back from behind. And, well, it seems it might not happen here. Bomb, of course, in hands of that CT side. Another frag for them. All onto Hobbit and Axel. Just chilling. Hoping someone gets a bit aggressive. Takes a wide swing. Gives them a chance, but not going to be the case. Apex are not throwing this opportunity away this time, Keith.
Oh, yeah. They are taking... They're not taking no for an answer. They really want this round, and it seems like they're going to get it. Axile alone. What this does is it kind of puts Gambit in a weird spot. Sure, they've already secured their 9 script, but they really, and I mean really, wanted this 10th. Whenever Apex get overly aggressive, they get aggro. That flash peek into Palace, the one round they push top mid, Marcellus got a double. It's formulated some form of success. But when they get aggressive in their own accord, for example, Denison towards mid with no support, it fell apart. So I think Apex are starting to pick up on, okay, we need to do aggressive setups and really make Gambit fight us early. Then we can play for the round win. Not again, a little late to be figuring that out, because once Gambit get to that CT side, I mean, you just know Shiro is going to be all over the place with the op. It's kind of just his playground once he gets over there. So I think they need to win out, and really, and I mean really, in a great spot to do so.
Oh, jump not making it across. A little awkward there. Not sure, maybe not the intention, but all the same. Oh, leg lands. That's the AWP down. And it's into the hands of Nafany. Can it make it over to Shiro? I'm not sure. Maybe. There's... Oh, Shiro behind with the Glock, almost finding 2. Akez takes him down. Why is this round so crazy? Meanwhile, the bomb's gone down on B. What is going on? What is going on? And I think they're a little unsure. It could be A or B because they've abandoned both sites. It is indeed
There's
the
no
B
way
bomb
Hobbit
site.
can do this. There's no way.
I mean, they're low. If he can isolate one, I mean, oh, the AWP here of Dennis. Not able to find any damage just yet, but of course, that first bullet accuracy, all good when running on the USP. And he will manage to find it, but even that round with nothing but Glocks comes a little close.
Wow. I am a little a loss for words. Bomb plant, AKs, utility in round 14. Up in Marcellius' hands. He's been a bit more warm than on Dust 2, and that's a good sign if you're an Apex fan. Gonna throw himself a bit of a one-way, but I think he flubbed it. Needed to go one stair higher. Now he's just gonna go aggressive. They need opening picks, Scriv. It's been what's working. When you force Gambit to mid-round on Mirage thus far on T-side when a man down, lackluster. But I think Marcellius may lose timing here. He needs to get out of dodge.
Oh, run boost coming in. Meanwhile, Marcellius takes down the bottom of the totem pole. However, he will get shot in the back. I think he was dead to rights there anyway, but all the same, it's a man advantage for Gambit youngsters, whichever way they're able to gain it. Double digits seems to be on the way. And then we start to worry about 11. Akez pushing forwards. Timing absolutely terrible. That is somewhat of a shame for him, but nonetheless, 4 versus 2. I think these remaining 2 CTs will look to save as well. Dennis running into position to try and deny entry to the B bomb site, but A, they haven't decided where to put the bomb, and B, I think you just have to look to save here. He goes down, so does Gruss. I mean, you can just about scrape together a buy here, but the saved weapons really could have made the difference and made the 5 more doable.
Well, there's that double digit. And now Marcelius, as good as he's been with the op, leading the way with his team at 12 kills, has a scout in the final round of the CT side. I think they need 5, Scriv. Don't want to beat around the bush, just going to be completely honest. 5, to me, a requirement. But you never know. We've seen Gambit run it back. Why can't APEKS? And again, aggression, opening pick. It's what's been working for APEKS. Of course, when the timing works. I've had some rounds where it's been awkward and a little off kilter. But there we are. The first, now you concede mid, and you play for the top of connector, you play for deep cat. And that is the case in APEKS. That is so aggressive.
All right. 55 seconds thereabouts left on the clock here. Bomb retrieved. And the B-bomb site seems to be where they want to move to, but I don't know, man. Gonna be easier said than done. This angle from APEKS, often overlooked. You know, you check into the market and everything. Ollie's coming in, though. Beautiful stuff. Really making sure that he cannot sit there as they both bleed into each other. Hobbit, meanwhile, from short, explodes and breaks the silence, finding the first. Truth yet to give his position away, but Inters is so sharp. Into the 3-on-3. Through the smoke, Dennis falls. What can you do, APEKS? You really have to feel for them. Gruss coming in from short here. I don't think he's going to expect Hobbit. Not that it really matters. He's the only one in a 1-on-3. Doesn't find anything. And Gambit Youngsters making that look way too easy. 3-on-5. It's just another day at the office, it looks like.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right, at this point. It is just Gambit showing up, running it back, and look at those live odds. Thank you, LoopBet, for those. An awesome betting partner that's allowed all these 10 weeks from Malta Vibes. I'm not going to get emotional. They've allowed some awesome Counter-Strike to happen. And thank you so much to them for being a part of this. As Gambit Youngsters look to put this part of Week 10 opening group into the bag and move on to playoffs swiftly. Shiro, while quickly moving to the next round, Script.
Anthony, looking to do it even faster. Hobbit. Okay, finding the third. I mean, APEKS, mate. What can I say? They found the opening pick, Keith, but it just isn't enough. Axile, he thought about the knife. He thought about it, but they're already doing them dirty. And Dennis, I think, not long for this world either, yeah. Inter's in behind him, finally swings out wide enough to take him down. 12-4. We did say Dust 2 was required, and this is why. Gambit Youngsters already obviously picking up 11 in the first half and then just continuing to frag out. Getting the pistol. No bomb plan. APEKS are just really down and out already.
Yeah, defeated is probably the right choice of words. They know their performance has been not up to par to what they're expecting on Mirage. Dust 2 was a valiant effort that they know they could have won and should have in their minds. But you go through it all and it's still a loss no matter what. So hopefully an opportunity for APEKS to improve. But man, it's been just the Gambit Youngsters show. Saving grace for APEKS, Griv, another best of 3 following. So not out, not done, but maybe need to play another. Again, not fully counting them out here. Certainly doable. But man, they're going to have to dig deep.
Moving in through window here. Nafany going to get overwhelmed by the flying Glock. The fabled flying Glock. However, the rest of the squad still look pretty solid here. Dennis getting another. Damage is nice. Certainly, you know, going to ease some of that pressure going into the next round. One more than this could be big. Gruss trying to shoulder peek his way out on the UMP. But unfortunately, not going to be able to find anything. Will eventually go down. A bare minimum of 3 just about hit by GAMBIT youngsters. So could have been really bad for them. Still might not be great. But all the same, moving up to 13 and able to put together a pretty good buy. Apex already feels like last chance saloon on this map and therefore the series. This has come about quick.
Do or die time. This is where you gotta step up. Or swiftly move on to the next and then show us again what you got. But you don't want to do that. It has to be now. That nade is incoming to Marcelius. He's gonna feel that one if he gets tossed by Exile. Yep, here it comes. Come on, Exile, you spotted him. One more jump spot, confirm his suspicion. And that one hurts. Especially considering now he's one-shottable from the M4 and even the FAMAS. Apex cat split incoming, Scriv. This is the round.
There we go. Moving in, flashes over the top, taking down Inter's quick. Exile as well towards the back end of the site here, trying to escape and, yeah, just mount a defense with the rest of the squad, however not able to do so. And I think with those 2 frags coming in, GAMBIT youngsters will just look to save. So Apex stave them off, stay alive for another round.
All right. Nice, clean little cat split there. I like the look. I like the look. Begs the question, though, how many times can Apex get away with cheeky contact plays like that once the op comes out on top of it all from Shiro?
Terrorists win.
And I wonder, I mean, they're gonna buy around these at 3 M4s. And when a majority of your team saves, I imagine you buy. That is my guesstimate. And accurate. And here we go, Scriv. If Apex win this, hang on to your hats, because they could go on a bit of a sprint, a bit of a run for a while, a few rounds, give or take. But we need that confidence back from Apex, Scriv.
Yeah, need it back big time, dude. This is, I mean, a good start, but a long road. Oh, and Marcelius being tagged down pretty heavily here. Meanwhile, Gruss ready and waiting for that one. Exile bites off way more than he could chew. Definitely not said and done, you know, not wildly one-sided so far from Apex. But they are happy to be in control, of course, and dictate the pace of the rest of this round. Nafany, an off angle on the stairs. Oh, smoke coming in at the worst possible time. Trying to escape here, but not going to happen for him. Shiro, meanwhile, attempting to pick up the pieces, but it's still not quite enough. Has to try and get away through the smoke, and he is denied. Shot in the back of the head by Truth. MP9 also denied by Truth. And Inters will move to save. No, he's going to fight. A little weird, but I guess kind of screwed regardless. 6th round coming in for Apex. And the GAMBIT youngsters' money in a weak position. So going to have to chill here and go back to the drawing board of their CT side.
Well, hang on. I said Apex is going to get a few off of this, and you're definitely right to say GAMBIT are going back to the drawing board. I think that board includes Shiro on the op. I would definitely say that board on Apex does not have anything to do with losing the bomb and giving AKs up. That's probably not on the list of things they wanted to do. They have a player coming in through CT, a connector player soon. The reposition from Gambit Youngsters, I like. But Nafany has to win this fight and have good timing on the CT player. He simply doesn't. Gets caught jumping. And if Shiro pulls this off, I'll shave my head.
Well, there's the first. They're stacked. Oh, almost the second, but of course the aim punch came in there. If he had armor, unfortunate that he did not. APEKS move up to 7 though, and still a decent amount of damage. You can look towards the kill bonus and everything, making sure that this AWP buy is nice and comfortable. Meanwhile, on the comeback train, you really don't want to be letting rounds come that close. It's not eating too much into the finances, but if that becomes a habit, it will. Much like, I guess, how a lot of money drains away. There you go.
For Shiro. No kits, very low utility, and this B hit has so much weight to it, Scriv. Can APEKS hang on, or will Gambit shut them down here?
The million-dollar question, of course. The smokes are everywhere here. Gruss able to drop intas. And they are wildly out of things. Unfortunate they don't know how open that plant was. Maybe could have sprayed down through the smoke. Not going to be the case, however. Patience being employed by the CT side. Dennis and Gruss, though, able to eliminate 2 very quickly indeed. Nafany only good for 1. Shiro looks to save again. APEKS move up to 8. They are starting to make us believe ever so slightly. A deja vu situation here. But they, of course, on the other end of the stick this time.
Wow. That B explode came out of nowhere, seemingly catching Gambit Youngsters off guard. And with a lack of utility and no kits, that was just doomed pretty much from the start as soon as they got into the site. And now APEKS, yeah, they're against Shiro's up. But it should be the 9th. I hate saying that, but man, they're looking great the last couple rounds. They've caught Gambit Youngsters flat-footed a few times, able to walk up cat here and there. Starting to work. Starting to piece together. Just a very long road to go. We're facing, like, before we're even tied, it's going to be at least 3 more rifles.
Well, the pistol's just holding off. Chilling for now. Is the execute going to come in? And come into 4 it will. The quick rotation across from Nafany as well as he sits towards short, looking out at middle. Inter's left on 1 HP somehow. Shiro, meanwhile, boosted up above that smoke. Absolutely massive. Marcelius left kind of low. They are finding the frags, but not quite as cleanly as they would like. Again, coming a little close. CZ almost finding another. It's all going to be onto Shiro. Sure, there are low HP bars. Not that that really affects him all that much. And this angle being watched vehemently by Truth. I don't think he's ready for it either, Keith. So, we'll check it. Gets the tag. But not able to make it away from the clutches of APEKS. Close again. And I mean, you know, 1 or 2 more shots land from the Gambit Youngsters, boys. It might go the other way. And definitely keeping the heat turned up. But a 9th for APEKS. Still on the comeback train.
Boost up for Marcelius. Molly and Nade block the view. And APEKS looks like it's going to be a little bit of a fake soon-ish. Or no, they're throwing nades to facilitate a mid push. No eyes at all from Gambit youngsters at all towards mid Scriv. So much pressure on Nafany here. He's going to be tested, and Shiro has to kind of keep his eyes peeled on both angles.
Nafany does find the frag on ramp. And they're able to get away as well. This might be the round. Moving in behind the smokes, APEKS going to try and catch the CT defense off guard, but of course with ramp control, they're somewhat prepared for this. Yeah, and just playing safe angles, trying to bait them in. Shiro to find a Kez. Truth up close and personal. He just about makes it away. The fights get messy, and there's too many CTs to deal with, you would think. However, very quickly bring it back to directly a 2-on-1 in on that site itself. Without the rotation, certainly could have overwhelmed, but just not quite going to be the case. Marcelius requiring a 1 versus 2. A 3k overall. And he may well be able to slip behind enemy lines. The issue here is, of course, that murder hole not dealt with. Bit of movement. Makes it across to short, but somewhat ready for this. Rings off a shot a bit too early as well. Inters will take him down. And there it is. The 14th round finally coming in for Gambit youngsters. Not quite the final nail in the coffin, but they're definitely hammering it in.
Took a lot of time. Effort there as well. But up on up action now. Money there for APEKS Scriv. Enough for here and maybe even next to have a decent look. Obviously, be 15 for Gambit, so you buy anyway, but it could look really chunky. Truth tested and at first is secured. His teammates find another all the while. Dennis really needs this kill, and he is good for it. A site under locks, but Shiro still looms and glooms. And keep an eye on that mini map because the bomb, uncertain where it's going. APEKS wants to go B, wanted to go underpass. That seems like B's the home.
Shiro gonna go for it here, I guess. Fancying his chances, kind of. Timing gonna be everything. Ooh. Spots that player around the corner, and well, he wins fights like this a lot, but unfortunately, Gruss is faster. Able to take him down. APEKS up to 10. And Gambit youngsters are left with very little cash at all. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's not out of the question, but they just have to eco 1. Maybe take a timeout ahead of the next rifle round and then secure 15. But coming a lot closer than I thought it would, honestly. I feel APEKS, sure, their T side has looked good on multiple maps that we've seen them and whatnot, but Mirage is just not a map that they play, really.
Man, Scriv, this game's delivering in the sense that Dust 2 did. Everyone's had some moments. Comeback initiated. The economy's in shambles at times for Gambit. At 14. APEKS are so close. Nearly there. Exile. I'm going to find Dennis before his teammate falls. Same goes for Gruss. But the round, I think, is shaping up beautifully. And as I say that, Nafany has an AK. But his head is popped. Big one from APEKS. That's the round ender. Man, everyone deep breath.
Here we go then. Number 26. It may well all come down to this, Keith. And a fast approach to begin. A quick boost up at ramp. Not going to find anything. As they are playing that passive, more retake-centric setup on the A-bomb site. Nicely timed smoke, though. Not allowing Marcelius to creep out and go for a contact play, at least at the moment. The execute going to come over the top here. Minute 25. Thereabouts on the clock. Looking good for Apex, but another smoke comes in to keep them at bay for now.
Here we go. A-pop looming and glooming. Scriv Marcellius mollied off, cannot continue. Shiro and CT is a big keep player. The first secured, and keep your eyes on the player in balcony. Hobbit gets traded. Can Shiro deliver more, Scriv? You gotta think he can.
Surely, right? Surely. Trained on the angle, he is flashed off of it meanwhile, but the rotation's coming in to help out Nafany. Mollied off for now, opting not to push forward, so he certainly could have done, but yeah, looking to play it safe more than anything. Bomb plan going to come in and through the smoke. Axile with the nade to help out. We'll find the frag. Meanwhile, around it, Nafany gets another. 20 seconds left for Truth to find a 1-on-4, and he runs out of ammo. 15 rounds for Gambit youngsters on the board. 4 in a row required from Apex. They've got cash, but do they have the means?
Well, the pause comes in. You're right about the means part. The weaponry's there. But do they have the round structure to back it up? 4 more for OT. A 16-14 already going the distance in round 30, excuse me, in the opening match. Will we need another? Can we get there? Pause is gone. And you gotta hope that Apex has some sort of approach planned into this. 20 kills for Inters, 24 for Nafany. The Riflers are awake on the Gambit youngsters side. And Apex, they need to play full throttle, Scriv. They hold up for a minute. They down gear, right? They down shift. I mean, that's it.
Early utility expended. Nice molly from the CT side that we've seen them utilize quite a bit, actually. Really nullifying the idea of the B rush the entire half. Not that in this kind of a round I think Apex would want to go for something as Hail Mary as that, but all the same, worth noting. Nafany, though, this off angle could be absolutely deadly. Flash comes in, however. The 1 versus 1 trade, not all bad. Gruss is left low. He stood up into window, and Axile's somewhat ready for it. Meanwhile, Hobbit finds a frag at ramp, that is. Pushing forwards. Oh, and the smoke dissipates at the perfect time. Gruss going to fall. 4 on 2, Keith. Not looking good at all. They're split across the map. APEKS is trying to capitalize on a maybe slightly thwarted CT side. His barrel spotted. They know where he is. He will go down as Shiro creeps in. All on to Dennis to keep them alive here. Of course, another best of 3 available for Apex, but all the same, they'd love to stay alive in this series and keep giving Gambit youngsters a run for their money. It's just not going to happen.